Hey guys, my name is Cynthia and welcome to my channel, A Quiet Praise, where we'll talk about faith, life, and perspective. And today I wanted to tackle a topic that's a little bit difficult for some people. How can you trust the Bible? This question was brought up to me by an old friend. He knew I was Christian, he knew I went to church, and he was like, but how can you trust in the Bible? Wasn't it written by man? And so I hope you have a pen and paper ready, because I'm going to give you some reasons why we should trust the Bible. The first reason we're going to talk about today is found in 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16, where it says that the word was inspired by God. So just like when someone's writing or drawing, they're using a pen or a pencil, that is being powered by the person that's doing it. So in reality, the pen or the pencil is doing the writing. I am just the power behind it. The same way when we look at the Bible, the writers of the Bible were that pen and they were being used by God to write the word. Number 2. Jesus believed in the scriptures. We find this when he was tempted with Satan and he battled him by quoting scripture. He said, "Thou shalt not live by bread alone." And he also said, "Do not tempt the Lord thy God." So if they're important to him, this should also be very important to us. I mean, think about it. This is a life or death situation that he was in. And he decides out of anything that he can say to quote the scriptures. The Bible also talks about spiritual and moral decline, and as you can obviously see, there's different types of moralities and people have their own values. There's hundreds of different religions and spiritual groups, and so that's something that the Bible foretold, and it was saying that morality was going to go down and spirituality was going to go down. And if you open up the news every day or even your cell phones, Google, humanity is kind of going against each other, and the Bible foretold that from the beginning to the end of it. Another reason why we should follow the Bible is because it talks about prophecy. And to my knowledge, the Bible is the only book that talks about prophecy from the beginning to the end. It talks about Jesus being the Messiah, it talks about his death, his resurrection, and it even talks about prophecies all the way to the end of times. In the book of Revelation, it talks about pestilences, it talks about nation against nation, it talks about wars, it talks about earthquakes. And so all these things that we've seen from the beginning to the end definitely prove that the Bible is real, because there's nothing of the prophecies in the Bible that have not been foretold. Does the Bible also have scientific evidence to prove that it's real? Why, yes it does. Thank you for asking. The Bible talks about Job 26 verse 7, where the earth hangs on nothing. And now we know that there's a universe and there's a galaxy, and the Bible foretold this long before scientists figured out that the earth literally is hanging in outer space on nothing. The Bible also talks about the earth being round in Isaiah 40 verse 22, long before Columbus sailed the ocean blue. This shows us that the earth is round, it is not flat like people used to think, and so this was done hundreds of years before it was discovered by the great explorers. Interesting enough, the movie Nemo was correct. In Psalms 28, it talks about the paths of the sea, and now we know that explorers and sailors and even fishermen do follow the paths of the sea to follow the currents, which bring abundance of fish. So Nemo, good job. The Bible is a book where from cover to cover it is unity. There is unity in its writings. There are 66 books, over 40 writers from all different paths of life. There was doctors, there was tax collectors, there were kings, there were prophets, there were fishermen. So many people that wrote the Bible, and somehow it all harmoniously comes together. The Bible was written in 3 different continents. It was written in Greek, Latin, and Aramaic. And so I don't know about you, I know English and Spanish, and that's hard enough. But somehow, all these different writers just started where the other one left off. And that's pretty amazing, because sometimes just a normal chapter book, it's hard for me to understand where each chapter ends and the other one continues. And in the Bible, it's just one flawless, continual story. The Bible has changed lives like no other book. You can read Shakespeare, you can read Aristotle, you can read other books, but the Bible is the only book that will change your life and will change your heart. Yes, when you read Shakespeare, you feel compelled and you feel this sort of emotion, but the Bible takes that emotion to another level. And it makes you want to change, and it makes you a better person. It changed people like Mary Magdalene from a prostitute to a follower of God. It changed Saul, a persecutor of Christians, to now one of the biggest prophets and the biggest leaders and protectors. It also changed a tax collector named Zacchaeus from someone who used to steal and rob from people to wanting to give him multiple times over what he had stolen from them. And so if the Bible changes people like that, I believe it can change me, and it can also change you. The Bible can change addicts, it can change murderers, it can change adulterers, it can change any type of sin. There's nothing that is big enough that the Bible cannot change you, and Jesus cannot work in your life. The Bible should be our GPS. Yes, a GPS is a global positioning system, but I say we can make it our God's plan of salvation. It tells me where I came from, what I'm doing, and what I'm supposed to be doing. It gives me guide, it gives me purpose in my life. So now, if somebody asks me, why do I trust the Bible? Why do I feel the Bible is real? I have an answer, and I hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell below for more weekly videos. Till the next time.